look at your past your past
Success.
6 months.
Lovely.
Well, so the first thing is this, right? Sorry for the little interruption there, guys. I had to make sure that we are back on and recording.
Recording for you,
right? So, first thing that you need to be doing is reviewing how your first 6 months, based upon your plan,
Yep.
your business plan, your business strategies, how has that gone over the last 6 months?
Yep.
Right? Are you on target? Right? How was Q1? How was Q2? What contributed to your success or what contributed to your failure?
Yep.
Right?
Correct.
That's the most important thing. And from there, you then need to look at how do you, let's say it's successful, how do you now capitalize on that success? And secondly, how do you, or if it wasn't successful, what adjustments do you need to make towards shifting the year into a better position the rest of the year? So the first one is to review your first 6 months based upon your business plan.
Look what
That's that,
worked, look at what didn't work.
That's
Then more
correct.
importantly, talk to all your existing customers to make sure everything is okay and you're maximizing share of wallet.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me is exactly one of the key activities that you must do.
So that'll be your number 2
What's that?
in looking at the customers.
Yeah,
Right.
look at the existing customers, contact them, make sure everything is okay. The second thing is that what I would actually do is readjust your targets. Because at some
Alright.
point you either need to, based on what the trend is, you want to either increase it or you actually want to either keep it where it is or reduce it. And the reason why I'm saying that is that there are factors that always affect what you're doing with sales. So let's look at it, because I know we're doing work in automotive right now. Let's just suppose that for some of these guys, the bread and butter that they're selling now, they get overstocked in. They'll be
Right.
happy because now they don't have to worry about telling customers that have
They
a
don't have stock,
waiting list or anything. They can just sell as much as they need.
That's correct.
Therefore, your targets have to go up. Because you want to sell more, you have to increase your targets. You have to increase how much people you're reaching out to. You have to increase how much your calls are.
Right.
And the reason why I'm saying, look at what you're doing with regards. Look at what you're doing with regards to your targets, guys. Because remember, your next 6 months is a lot of effort. How much prospecting are you going to do? How much calls? How much networking activities? How much proposals are you going to send out based on the product or service that you're actually
Right.
selling? So you really, really need to pay close attention to those numbers.
All right, so the third one I would actually want us to pay attention to is really along the lines of now when you go into your customers. So I always like to say, look back at your database, right?
Yeah.
So I'll give a quick example. Doing some work with a client on Friday, and we decided to. Part of the exercise is really looking at the database that we haven't touched as yet,
Right.
Because the goal was to go into the older customers.
Correct.
And drill down in terms of the core, just letting them know, as we're still here, where are you right now, and that type of stuff.
Correct.
And what we identified was that there were a couple of customers, one customer in particular, that they've been quoting over the past, let's say, 2 years. The last quote was actually 2018. The last invoice, now you have to be a bit of an analyst, right? The last invoice was 2014.
Right.
So when I was talking to the rep, the previous rep was saying, yeah, well, we contact with them, but I'm saying, well, look at this. You can't tell me that the customer not buying nothing, they haven't bought anything since 2014.
Correct.
So all you have to do is just adjust the approach. So the last thing that organization sold to that customer was in 2014, even though the customer has been asking for a quote, which means that all of those quotes was won by someone else.
Not only that, they're just probably using it as a benchmark.
Correct. So what we did do, however, is that we made a call. So we got them. I got the new rep. We got them together. We made the call to the customer, and it just so happened. Or sometimes this could be real coincidence. It could be luck. But again, it's all how you approach the call. When we made the call, one, they had an interest in hearing that we have some similar services to provide to them based upon the current vendor. So we went in,
Right.
knowing that they had a current vendor, and then secondly, they just so happen to have some needs right now to the point where they actually have to go in on Monday, tomorrow.
You see?
You understand?
So, and can we just say one key point? When your customer is already using a competitor, it lets you know they have budget.
Yeah, and they're pre-qualified.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So always keep that in mind, guys. Like that is a dead factor of you going and approaching and getting and trying to get the business.
That's correct. Yeah. So always make sure, again, look at your customers. Sometimes you might think that the approach is slow, going back and looking at these older customers. If these older customers still exist, their doors open to their customers, then you have a service that you need to provide for them. What you need to figure out is why have they switched from you? And it's also possibly, I didn't have this in my list, but doing a customer service survey at a half year is not a bad thing. You can just do a survey on the customers that you sold to within your first year, or the customers who didn't buy from you within your first year.
Yep.
Those are good things to do within your 6 months now to prepare for your next 6 months going forward.
Simple things.
Yeah.
Simple things.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, because I'm just saying, for me, when you look at the 6-month mark, and again, the reason why we're saying it too, the best way to do this for me is like we're reaching the end of June, so I'm preparing my 6-month reports to my bosses and stuff at Samsung, which again entails everything that we actually just discussed here.
Yeah.
But it allows you to really put things in a clear perspective of what it is you really want to accomplish for the next 6 months.
That's correct.
So like for me, I look at a couple of key factors that I know influences and affects what we do. So I already know what products are buying at end of life, what products are being introduced. So therefore I'm creating activities around those specific timelines. To either sell out stock or do training to introduce the new stuff that's coming in.
That's correct.
So I have those activities planned.
Correct.
Then I look at other factors that could have an effect on what you do. So number one, which in a lot of businesses that we interact with has a huge factor, is the budget. So budget in September and October, right when you finish Q3 for a lot of persons, is a big influence in terms of what you do.
Therefore, what happens next?
Depending on the industry. So that's one thing I pay close attention to monitor. And then the final thing is I look at asking all my resellers in the market, because this is based on the industry I'm in, what are they doing for the next 6 months? What do they have upcoming, and we can help support them, or we can help guide them on.
Yeah. And that last question is also a question. If you're in B2B, that's also a question that you can go in to ask your customers. What are your plans for the next 6 months? How is it that you're budgeting? I'm glad that you brought up the budgeting point, because that was actually the other point I was going to make. For most of us right now, we know that certain things happen for us seasonally, right?
Yep.
Right now, we are at the end of the calendar's Q2. However, for the government, they are going into their Q4. There are other organizations that are going into their Q4 as well. So how familiar are you with your customers' budgeting period?
So are you familiar with your financial year for every single customer?
Exactly. And that's
because you need to know
important
what their budget is going forward.
That's
because
correct.
a big thing, especially government, is a huge part of your business. When it comes closer to September, to when the budget is being read, that's when they either try and write off as much stuff or get as much projects done, because they want to make sure and use the funds. Because everybody knows in business, if you don't use the budget they give you, they take it away the following year.
And they may not give you the same quantity for the next year either.
So are you having the right conversations with the right persons in order to get those things signed off on in your favor?
Right, and remember, the goal is to identify what are your plans.
Yep.
So that's for the customer, right? So what are the customer's plans moving forward? If it is that you also, like Jared mentioned, you may have there's a product roadmap coming up in terms of, right? If it is that you have that product roadmap coming up, and this is a little bit, let's say for instance for our B2C, our e-commerce people, right? If you have a product roadmap coming up, and you know it's okay, we're coming up into
July, August,
and even going into because Christmas stuff starts from September, October, November, December. It keeps starting early every year. Then it's not a bad idea to start hinting to certain things to your customers from all now. Start asking your people what is it that they actually want. Because again, guys, for us, whether it's B2C or B2B, we have different approaches that we can make. Some of us, if it's a B2B, based upon the service or the products that we provide, some of our manufacturers may be launching new equipment.
Yep.
So it's wise that, okay, you know that equipment is coming in and the equipment may have particular features to enhance a customer. You do that. Quick thing, I wouldn't even go into the whole story. We lost an opportunity or contract for 3 years. You know why? Because my guys, and I owed myself responsible because I was the manager at the time.
Right.
We didn't speak to the customer in 3 years, letting them know all the new technology and the new things that they could be doing. And that company in itself was a very forward-thinking company. So they always wanted to know, okay, so they're always up on the tech, they're always up on the latest thing to make sure that the organization is productive.
Correct.
But they want to know, okay, so what are some of the things that we need to be implementing?
Correct.
What happened is that, let's let this truck pass. What happened is that a competitor went in and had that conversation and kicked us out. And this is within a group company. And the competitor wasn't a group competitor. So there are no loyalties in business. I'm saying that to say that sometimes even within your own home, some of us who are B2C, some of our own family members are buying from us.
You see?
Because we may not be providing right value.
Matthew as well, who's coming to the conference, shout out to Matthew, said as a salesperson, you must have a customer account plan, correct?
Yeah.
Especially once it is your managing account, and it will sound bad. I know some people say they don't have the time or they have too much, but that's just an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
You must have a standard plan for all your customers. You must have a template that you can apply and adjust when need be for each individual customer, so that you're able to understand, all right, the month start, what's the trigger for this account that they do, so that I can just make sure and maximize my revenue with them each and going forward. Whether it's a recurring revenue, you have a subscription-based service, or whatever it is you have, you must have a customer account plan to understand. It's like, and it goes to B2C as well, so that's what thing B2B. Right? Good morning, Simone Denobrigger. Right. So it's even B2C. Because think about it. If I have my customers mapped out based on a subscription service,
Right.
and I know Lyndon birthday is coming up, doesn't mean I can get Lyndon to spend more. Because I know Lyndon is doing stuff for his birthday.
Yeah.
If I'm a travel agency, don't I approach my clients or I message clients on every holiday?
Yeah, but here's the funny thing with that, right? Let's just say you have a deeper appreciation as to Lyndon's family.
Right.
Can you reach out to Lyndon's family to say, Lyndon's birthday is coming up?
What's your buying for him?
You understand? It's all strategy, you know, guys. And the reason why some of us are not maximizing stuff like that is because our website lead gen data capture CRM isn't built, or we are not thinking broadly enough to capture that type of information, because they're really, really important.
Let's not punk them though, because we know real companies who have a CRM.
No, but that's not punk. That is a
I'm just saying,
constructive
yeah.
criticism.
I know saying some of them not using the CRM, but
You're
we
not
know a lot
using
of them,
it.
but
Well,
at the
it's-
same time, you have other technologies at play. Good morning, who's watching us on Facebook? Send us a message to let us know who you are. But you still have the technology at your disposal in order to create reminders and tools and things popping up so that they can do the manual work and just remind them.
What I want to do too, I want to try to, let me see how best I can cover. I'm trying to cover all bases, right? So we spoke
Right.
B2C, B2B. We have, let's say we have our buddy here, Curtis, he's an author, right?
Right.
For persons who are writing your books, right? Even if it is you're doing particular things like your book sales, in most instances, the book sales isn't the end result for authors, right?
Correct.
The book sales, we use that to help leverage.
Speaking engagements
and
especially.
stuff
Yep.
like that, right? So it's wise also to look at, okay, what has been my last 6 months? Based upon, of course, what was the plan that was supposed to come out from the book and your speaking engagements, or whatever your plan that you had mapped out, and what is going to be the strategy for the next 6 months, right? Now, if it is that you're using that as a matter of leverage, then it's always wise to say, okay, so who are the customers that I really want to get in front of right
Yep.
now? You understand? How it is that I can actually further leverage the book, because again, the book is sort of the catalyst to, because you're now the authority figure on this particular subject.
That's correct.
So on all areas, from Curtis the author, from the B2B and the B2C, one thing that's really missing in all those spaces is really understand your buying personas, meaning your customer profiles. Who is it that who are those people that you really want to send to? And kind of going back into your strategy for your next 6 months to really say, okay, have we done a good job to make sure that we have identified and highlighted all those particular pain points, and are we speaking their language? So if it is that, I use Curtis as an example again, if it is that my book is based upon productivity within an organization, and I know Curtis to an extent has this down, but I'm just using it as an example.
Right.
How many HR managers do I have in front of me that I've spoken to within the year? From one up to doing one-on-one interviews, just to
Yep.
find out if what I want to do and what they want to do, and what their experience is in sync, because the last thing you want to do is think of it from your own standpoint. To say, well, I think this,
Very
so
true.
I'm teaching on this, but are they experiencing the same thing, so you can make the right alignment?
Let's give a couple more examples so you guys can get a clear picture. So I know we always have persons in automotive listening to us. We know, and actually, let's pay attention to this. A lot of industries are affected by governments. I'm saying this because let's be doing planning. So if it is that you know consistently that every time September, October reaches, things that you do have to increase in price or whatever because of taxes and different things levied by the government.
Right.
So if in automotive, motor vehicle tax might go up, gas might go up, those other things. Are you pushing with your customers now who are thinking about buying a car that's more eco-friendly to buy the
Right.
car now?
Right.
Are you putting it in their mindset to buy the car now? And so Dean is also in real estate who just joined. If you're in real estate, are you putting the tools in the customer's head to say, listen, are you putting things in place either to sell the home, to buy a home before the whole property tax things
Right.
comes into
Right.
play? Like what it is that you're actually doing. If it is that you know your customers are dictated by budget, and that's something key we're going to mention. If you don't know your customer's budget, you're in a problem because you don't know what they're able to spend with you and what time they'll be able to dedicate to these products and services you provide. So you have to be paying a close attention to these things and pay attention to your confidence well too, guys, because you have to have the confidence to access to your customer with a reason to say, listen, I want to know your budget because we want to know what it is we can actually do for you in this next half of the year.
Yeah.
So you have to pay close attention.
And if
to
you
those things.
if you wanna, I'll do a shameless plug here, right? If you wanna understand the right questions to ask when it comes to identifying budgets and not seem too intrusive, You'll get that on June the 18th we'll be doing the Christmas.
That's right, because Lyndon is doing investigative questions, so he's gonna be teaching you all those pretty good techniques. That's shameless plug, but we have to do it. No, but you see, like I look like I remember when we did a training, my thing was to ask the persons, what do you want to get from yourself when it's December 31st? And that's one of the things you wanna keep in mind, guys. December 31st. Have you pictured what's happening to you at December 31st? Do you know? You have your targets, you
I
have
know
your
what I
budgets
want.
in mind?
I shared mine with you since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, because my first close budget is our first close idea now is June 18th. We
It's
have
June
our
18th,
targets.
yeah.
We are on stream for our targets, right? So our next target is looking at what we want to accomplish for the end of the year. I'm looking at what I want to accomplish. I have certain financial goals. I have certain
That's
personal goals. Everything. Ask yourself, what are you doing with regards to the business that you operate to ensure that when December 31st comes, you have exceeded your targets. I don't want you to achieve it, I want you to exceed it. Like that's the word you need to use.
And I would want to make sure and add to what Jared just mentioned, because parts of the people, some of the people that I speak to outside of the corporate entities, which are small to medium to, small business owners, right? You're upcoming, you're a startup, you guys don't have plans. So when I ask the question, okay, so what is your plan? What has been your plan for 2018? How much money it is that you really wanted to make? In most instances, we are starting from zero, so there's nothing that most people have to show me to say, well, this is what I wanted to do, but I don't have that in front. They don't have it, so there's no starting point for us to say, well, okay, so how do you do with this particular thing? So there's nothing that we have to use as a benchmark to see how well we did it. So really starting from scratch.
Correct.
So what we're saying here is this: as much as it's 6.5 months again for the year,
The January start just now.
and January just
So
started.
don't say 6 months. January was just now.
Very, very soon, this is going to end, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have 5 more months and then 4 more months and that kind of thing. And you say, shit, the year done already, boy. But really and truly, how have you really worked your plan? When I was doing multi-level marketing, there's something that we used to say, know your plan, work your plan.
Oh
right?
yeah, correct.
Which really meant you have to understand, and even if you're in sales, apart from the sales manager and the company giving you an action plan with KPIs, you yourself as a salesperson, right, as a business owner, you're supposed to have your own plan, and it's something that you look at every single week because you
Just to
want
keep
to
on
know
track.
where am I as a release. And that requires some discipline. I know that is not a common practice. We just move. We
Yeah.
wake up in the morning, we just go and do stuff. But
And for a couple of those just joining us, we're just talking about what you're doing for the next 6 months to end your year on a high. So for those of you who have some questions, mention it and shoot it out to us so that we can actually answer it. But we're literally just talking about how you want to end on December 31st, 2019. How you want to look at it. And let me just actually, gosh, I had a point in my head and I just jumped out. What was the point? Your run rate.
yeah, your run rate also helps.
Ask yourself, and there's a thing a lot of persons don't know, what is your run rate?
Yeah.
I'll give a perfect example of Clifton Rampersad, an amazing real estate agent. He knows when he gets a listing, like he will get a listing for land and he'll tell you, I literally need to call 3 people. By the 3rd call, he had sold.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows the activity. Do you know the actual run rate for the products and services that he actually provide?
And that's
Big
also
thing to
very
take
important.
All right.
So it's what we're talking about here is a lot of analytics, guys. Yeah, but you have to, if you really want to get better in your business, you have to spend the time studying your business,
Yeah.
studying the customer's business, studying the industry. But it's important, and it's your half year. Whether you've been successful or not within your first 6 months, that's fine. You have 6 months to catch up on it.
Yeah.
If you have to readjust your targets, as Jared was saying before, do that. You
Yeah.
understand? If you're optimistic enough to say, well, all right, I think I can still I didn't do so good in the first half year, but I can make it up in the second half, then fine. Take whatever losses you had or shortages you had in your first 6, you carry it across into your, but you just double up. You have to double down on your work.
And I'll give you all the most perfect, I'll give you my personal example. So, good morning, JP. How you going? JP, by the way, is one of our speakers at the conference, CEO for Terra. He's obsessed with CRM. You need to talk to JP. JP is an excellent one to pay attention to, right? But here's, let me give you an example of what I pay attention to. I know right now that I am 20% above where I was last year, which I'm very happy for, right? What I also know is that I know what's my daily run rate. So every day I look at my figures of what sells in Samsung devices, and I know my daily run rate. So I know that if that run rate ever falls, it triggers certain activities that I must do. However, on the more important side, I know that if I want to achieve the target that I want to the end of the year, I need to get the run rate to a certain level.
Right.
So it's making sure it doesn't fall below the minimum, but also making sure that it reaches the maximum of the target that I want to get.
Yeah.
So say for example, I can't go under 500 devices selling a day, but I also want to hit 700 devices selling a day on island. I need to make sure that the activity is created to make sure one doesn't happen and one does happen. Are you doing those things in your business? Right? The other thing too, let's look at it from me on the social side. Like I have a big emphasis now, I think everybody would have seen it. I post every single day on LinkedIn. Right? So my thing on LinkedIn now is I have a benchmark in terms of how many views, how many comments, how many connection requests that I get, and if I don't, I create the activity necessary in order for those things to happen. Are you doing the activity necessary? That's just the bottom line behind it. Right, good morning, have a good to go, sounding good so far. Thank you so much, Renz. Yeah, but that's it. And let us know your run rate, Renz, so we could give you some feedback on that. Berry Link,
Welcome.
man who run into Tobago in terms of the
Mobile.
best, not just mobile, like store experience.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, mobile experience.
Like, I think no matter what product he will sell, if he does the same model, it's just the experience. But yeah, but that's literally just the concept behind it, guys, because we're wrapping up here. As we go back, know your run rate, know the seasonal effects of what happens in the industry.
Yeah, and correct, and that includes the budget and not just the customers and how they're buying, right? So it's not just
the country's budget, your customers' financial year, everything.
Review your plans to see exactly as to where you are.
As Matthew said, have a customer account plan.
Right, and make your respective adjustments, and just always keep studying. It's something that you have to do. Always keep studying your business on a daily, weekly, monthly basis.
All right. If you have any questions, please let us know, because I know we always like to talk, but we love to hear from you guys. I just want to thank everybody for joining, for Berry Link, for Lauren, 69, Curtis, Renz, Simone, Dean, I Love Tobago, Matthew, Neyman Rice, Creative Rooms, everyone. So we're just really, really happy that you guys have joined us. And you know what? June 18th. Are we doing a show next week? Next week is Father's Day.
I doubt.
I think we should do.
Yeah? I had to get my daughter's permission to do that. But what did I
Yeah, but it's your day.
We could.
It's your day. Guys, message us if you want us to do something on Father's Day.
If you want us to do that, we can do that.
I'll bring Zoe.
Yeah, Solange.
And bring Solange.
Yeah.
Right. And we bring the two of them and we do something special for Father's Day, just talking to you. And I think it's good too, because it would be the Sunday before the conference. So I think we'll leave that as an open forum just to discuss anything that we want to discuss. Alright, but this to end it. We are oh, look, a question came up finally. Maybe we can discuss effective account planning sometime. That's an excellent thing. That's an excellent topic, Rishmi. I love it. Okay, yes, so we'll do effective account planning. We'll do some research and give you our theories on that. But just to give you all a little thing, we have closed door of registration.
Yes.
You cannot do anything more on Island tickets. If it is that you have to request tickets from us, you have to directly message us so that we can confirm if you have the space. Because just yesterday somebody told us, like, I want to bring 6 people, and we're like, whoa, just now, give us an hour, I'll send you a message. So he took 6 spots. That's gone. We literally, I think now, based on the event plan, we have like 12 spots remaining in terms of where we want to be with our maximum output.
Yes, correct.
So you would have to message us, and then once we confirm, do the payment via check or do the payment through the bank itself.
If it's a company, do a purchase order, we come and collect it. We
just want to meet
options, but online, and we've closed that off.
Yes. So we are so happy, guys. We are excited. We are 1 week away. Just over a week away.
Just over a week away.
From doing the first sales conference ever, and I'm actually sitting down today just to finalize my entire presentation, so I'm excited for that and look forward to seeing you guys June 18th. Have a good Sunday.
Peace.